a TikTok-inspired Cockney Guy Ritchie Hercules movie. Like,
let's go.
Do it. Let's ruin Hercules in the most horrendous way possible.
Man, that'd be so fucking terrible. I'd love it.
So hello and a warm Wiki Weekends welcome to all the guys, gals and non-binary pals watching. I'm Lucas Holland and I'm joined as ever by the lovely Karl Smallwood.
Hello.
And Karl, do you have a favourite person or legend from Greek mythology?
Yeah, Kratos. You know what? The Greeks, they had some pretty good stories. I prefer modern day's OC.
Karl, today we are not talking about Kratos. I'm sure they'll probably come up at some point, but we are talking about Hercules, and not Heracles. We're talking about the Disney animated film Hercules.
Did you see that? Next stop, Olympus.
Did they only call him Hercules because Heracles is awkward to say?
But Karl, we'll get to that when we go to the wiki here, because, you know, we obviously at Wiki Weekend use a wiki page of our choosing to just help us out with the facts as we have like a loose discussion around the subject.
Yes.
So Hercules is a 1997 American animated musical fantasy comedy film loosely based on the legendary hero Hercules, and it says here, yes, known in the film by his Roman name Hercules.
And I will admit, Hercules sounds cooler because Herculean, like a Herculean feat, but Heracles does sound rad as well. Like, they're both pretty cool. It's like, dude's got two names and they're both rad.
Yeah, it's a win-win really, isn't it?
If you met a dude and he walks up and goes, hey, my name's Big Dick, but some people know me as Enormodon. It's like, damn it, both those names are awesome.
Well, Karl, you didn't even go for the Magnum Dong joke, because Danny DeVito's in it.
Sorry, I dropped my monster condom for my Magnum Dong.
Oh, whoops, oh. I dropped my monster condom that I used for my Magnum Dong.
Hercules in this movie, as known in Greek mythology, is the son of Zeus, and a son of Zeus that is immediately abandoned.
That's like typical for Zeus. Like, Zeus was busy.
No wonder Kratos just wanted to like shove that sword right through him.
Zeus is an arsehole.
Yeah,
and Kratos was 100% justified in like, hey, Zeus is a prick, he doesn't care about the struggles of the mortal man. Did he have to kill the god in charge of the seas as well on his way there?
Yeah, did he have to kill everyone in sight? Like, as far as I'm aware, at least like in the main 3 games, we just, like, obviously there's spin-offs and there's side stories and things, but all we see is Greece left in utter disaster as Kratos is like, alright, I'm out.
Yeah, he just leaves.
That's the real weird thing about the 2018 game, right? And obviously Ragnarok as well, where just they are aware of who Kratos is and still decide to fuck around and find out.
Even though they know they're weaker than he is, because I love that throughout Ragnarok they talk about how, we've only got one shot at this because obviously time travel's not real. And Kratos is like, what? Time travel's super real. I've done it like 3 times.
Yeah, it's just when they go and see the Fates and he turns to Freya and he's like, oh no, yeah, I've totally time travelled and I killed the Fates anyway. They don't matter. It's like, wait, what? Sorry.
Yeah, because like Kratos asks, like, hey, do the Fates of your land, can they see through time? And like, no, time travel's not an ability anyone in this realm has. And Kratos is like, fucking skill issue. Loads of people had it in mind and I still kick their ass.
But going back to Hercules, Karl, that is one of the many things that they have in common because they're both just pulling from Greek mythology, right? It's like the idea of the Fates, and that's kind of the main draw of the plot of this movie, where Hades just has a plan to, take control. And it's like, yeah, that's totally fine. But there is one problem that we foresee, and it's Hercules absolutely nailing you.
A word of caution to this tale.
Excuse me?
Should Hercules fight, you will fail.
If I recall from the movie as well, they do directly draw from Greek myth, where they send a snake to kill Hercules in the crib and his mum walks in and he's just strangled the snake. I think in the Disney he ties it into a bow or something, right?
It's, I think Pain and Panic have transformed into snakes, and then he grabs them and ties them together and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we totally did the job, don't worry, we totally poisoned that baby and killed him. Yeah, it turns out there was 1 drop of poison left, so it just depowered Hercules instead, and then he has to, spend his adult life earning his godhood.
And that's why Hercules is such a famous and celebrated heroic figure.
Mm-hmm.
From myth, because like the 12 labours of Hercules. He said he had to earn his godhood. He had to prove his status as a hero worthy of worship.
I don't know too much about like the actual legends of Hercules, but in the movie he's also got Meg just there, betraying him left, right, and centre as well.
I do have in front of me like the 12 labours of Hercules.
Right, okay.
Because there's a couple that often get left out, even in like more serious adaptations, because they are a bit silly. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of famous ones like slaying the Nemean lion, the lion that had a hide that was impervious to all harm, and that's like usually the lion skin that Hercules wears, or like slaying the Lernaean Hydra.
Oh right,
or the Lernaean Hydra, I should say. Sorry, I should know that because it's said in Hades.
Oh, right, yeah, true.
One that often gets left out, though, is cleaning out the stables of Aegean in a single day, because they had, like, so many horses, they were, like, mountains of shit that you had to clean out. So they usually leave that one out.
This movie is a very loose adaptation of that legend, right? But it still has a lot of those moments of, like, taking down the Hydra and things like that. But, yeah, I'm not sure in the myth of Hercules whether he, like, threw all of the Titans into a giant tornado. I'm not sure what that happens.
Right? Because one of the more ridiculous feats of strength that Hercules like performed is when he stole the golden apples, and to get those, he briefly took over for Atlas. Do you remember the story? Right? Atlas holds up the heavens on his back.
Right, yeah.
And Hercules went, well, if you can get me some of those apples, I'll hold up the universe for you.
I've got you back for opening it, mate.
Yeah, he holds up existence for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
imagine doing that and still saying, but you still got to like shovel all that shit, mate. So I carried existence itself on my back.
I wasn't even tasked to. I opted to do it.
That just shows his intelligence. He tricked a god into doing that for him.
This Hercules is a lot more kind of just naive, good guy, and doesn't really have any evil plot twists going on. That's more for Meg, as I said. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this movie's just like such a fun movie. I think it's one of my favourite of that like kind of 90s era Disney.
Yes.
They obviously like, I think it's from like The Little Mermaid is credited as like the kind of turn of Disney becoming good again, considering like from the 90s they had that kind of that golden period where it's like Lion King as well and things like that.
Now, they were on like a historic run in the 90s.
They were, but then they also had movies that are often forgot, I'll say, to put it nicely, of just, things like The Hunchback of Notre Dame and stuff like that, and then obviously...
Which is a good movie. We're not saying it's a bad movie. Don't come out and say, no, The Hunchback of Notre Dame... No, it's just, it wasn't as popular as The Lion King.
Yeah, it just doesn't get brought up very much compared to stuff like Lion King or even Hercules.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not to say that any of those movies are bad, but like, I know people love, for example, Atlantis, but not many people talk about it. There's not a bunch of merch like there is for Lilo and Stitch, right?
No, but it does have its stands out there who will, every time you say, hey, like, Atlantis and Treasure Planet sucks.
Yeah,
like, no, it was fucking great.
I'm the Treasure Planet guy. I'm like, no, you leave Treasure Planet alone.
There's no merch for it.
It's a beloved movie that isn't really, given love by Disney or spoken about too much.
It's the Bionicles of the Disney back catalogue. It gets no love, but everyone knows it's awesome.
I was about to say, don't you slander Treasure Planet by putting it in that same league, but I really enjoyed Bionicle when I was a kid.
I just never get over it when my ex described Bionicles as just like fucking Gunpla for white people, and I just couldn't deal. I couldn't deal with it. You're so right. You've never been more right about anything.
But Karl, let's get into some of the, stats for this movie. It's 93 minutes long, Always just love those 90-minute long movies.
Remember when movies just were 90 minutes and then you got to go home? Yeah. Like, you go see a movie at like 7 o'clock at night and you'd be home by like 10.
Do you think as well there are people out there, because I know when it comes up in gaming, a lot of people will consider like, how many hours you get for your money in a game, and I don't like that because games can be long and not fun. It doesn't, just because something's longer doesn't mean it's necessarily better. You just technically get more value out of it, I suppose, but...
Yeah, it's, go collect all those feathers in those Assassin's Creed games. Are you having fun? No.
And then I wonder whether just, you know, a lot of, like, more cinema buff people have that mentality of, well, if I go and watch a 3.5 hour film, I'm getting more out of my money. It's like, yeah, you are. But again, is that a fun 3.5 hours?
I'd like to think that people who enjoy cinema and film, both as an art form and as entertainment, will just want the film to be as long as it needs to be.
You would hope so, yeah. And I think this movie does exactly that. It just is in, out, and tells a fun story.
Yeah, bish bosh, job done. The idea as well of, like, truncating the 12 labours of Hercules, not even the 12 labours, his entire life, into 90 minutes is impressive.
Not only that, but adding several musical beats in there as well. And obviously, some of that, like one of my favourite songs, Zero to Hero. I always go to say Hero to Zero. It's like, that's a very different plot.
That's like the Dark remix, right? Like a hero to a zero.
But yeah, like, obviously that can just truncate a lot of that in a few minute song and just do a montage of his feats, right?
The montage is the greatest cinematic invention ever. It's like the montage whips so much ass of, like, I don't want to tell the story of this person training for 15 years.
Yeah, it's Phil or Philoctetes. I can never say the name right.
It's pronounced Danny DeVito's.
Danny DeVito's just is like, hey kid, you're never going to be anything. And Hercules is like, no, I'll tell you what, I'm going to just launch. Like, he throws like a giant shield of a statue into like the absolute stratosphere. It's like, can you at least give me a shot? Come on.
Yeah. So I'm pretty tough. Come on, give me a chance.
Watch this.
The budget for the movie, Karl, was $85 million, and it got a box office of $252.7 million. So, a fair return.
That's what a Disney movie costs today, right?
That is how much a Disney movie costs now, yeah.
This one of the most famous movies, like, of the 90s, made as much money at the box office as it cost to make one Pirates of the Caribbean sequel.
And not even one of the good ones.
Yeah, like, the budget for that movie is probably what they paid Robert Downey Jr.
I think Robert Downey Jr. got more than 85 million. I think he got a reported 100.
It's wild to think that you fast forward 20, 30 years and Disney be paying a single actor more than they paid an entire creative team.
And obviously that's not normal. That's a very special circumstance, but the fact there's a legitimate example of that happening out there is insane.
It is, yes.
But development of Hercules began in 1992 following a pitch adaptation of the Hercules mythological stories by animator Joe Hader. Meanwhile, Clements and Musker redeveloped their idea for Treasure Planet following the critical and commercial success of Aladdin. Their project was removed from development in 1993, and Musker and Clements joined the Hercules team later that year. So, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that John Musker and Ron Clements, who are directors of Hercules, I believe for ages they wanted to do Treasure Planet, and they kept having to, like, prove that they could do, like, other movies well before they were allowed to go back to Treasure Planet and do that.
A movie that got absolutely fucking no marketing whatsoever from Disney. So if you gave so much of a shit, why didn't you market it, Disney?
Oh, yeah. I've just checked on the Wiki page for Treasure Planet, and its budget of $140 million. They got a box office of 109.6.
Like, they could have got one Robert Downey Jr. performance for that. What were they doing?
Treasure Planet is just an adaptation of Treasure Island, but it's got cool space stuff in it. And I don't know how they can take, a proven good story, animate it well, and make a good movie out of it, and then not believe in it at all.
It feels like it might have just been sheer audience fatigue, right? Like, we mentioned Marvel a few times. The other thing that's happening with Marvel movies of, like, Thunderbolts, by all accounts, good movie. Audiences are just tired of superhero movies. Maybe audiences were just tired of Disney animated projects.
Because, like, I think other Disney animated films still did fine in the early 2000s. I'm not 100% sure, because when Tangled came out, obviously a lot of people heralded that as kind of return to form for Disney as well. So, yeah, maybe that kind of early 2000s, mid-2000s period, people were maybe a bit more down on Disney, I can't remember. It's certainly a shame that they proved themselves with two great films, made another great film and got essentially slapped in the face for it. Of like, see, we told you Treasure Planet wouldn't work.
Yep. And then Pirates of the Caribbean somehow popped off. Have you ever heard like how much of like an outlier Pirates of the Caribbean was, where the person who directed that was basically told, you're a fucking idiot, pirate movies are poison? Provably so.
Right.
Like, if you go back and look, like, every single pirate movie ever made prior to Pirates of the Caribbean was a huge flop, because every studio at some point tried to do a big budget pirate movie and it always made no money.
That's kind of similar to Treasure Planet, that is, because people saw it as a pirate movie.
Pirate movies, like, historically do not do well. And
Right.
not only were, like, they laughed out of the room for, like, a pirate movie, it's like, and what's it based on? Is it based on a story, a children's tale, a fairy tale? A ride at Disneyland.
A ride at Disneyland that is essentially just one scene as well.
Yes.
It's just the beginning of the movie, basically.
And that somehow became, like, one of the biggest movies ever. And Pirates of the Caribbean whips ass. We need to talk about that at some point.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Because, like, that and Dead Man's Chest are, like, great films. And obviously,
yeah.
Davy Jones, like, I'm not a big fan of the third movie. It's World's End is, like, at World's End or whatever. I think just it becomes a bit flanderized and focuses too much on Johnny Depp. But
yeah,
just Davy Jones still to this day looks phenomenal.
Oh, he
as
does,
like
yeah,
a full CG character.
And I'll never forget as well, like, one of the funniest things I've ever heard is when I was sat there watching. Do you know the one where Davy Jones turns the third one, right?
So it's the second and third that has Davy Jones in it.
And do you like the scene where they have the parlay on like the little shitty island and he's stood in the bucket?
Yeah.
The friend I was watching it with in the cinema with me just leaned over and went, why don't I just walk over and push him over? And I burst out laughing so loud, I almost had to leave the cinema. Because in that moment, I just thought, what about if Elizabeth Swann just walked over and pushed him over? What would he do? Like, I couldn't stop laughing. It was like good 5 minutes. I was like, they could just walk up and push him over and he couldn't do anything.
So. I guess the whole point of, like, the parlay is that it's meant to have some element of honour, but when you're dealing with, like, the Lord of the Underworld or whatever, just go push him over. If anyone's unaware why he stood in a bucket, it's like he's not allowed to go on land apart from, like, one day every 100 years or whatever.
Unless he's stood in seawater, right?
But, yeah, he can apparently use that as a loophole, and I always think to that scene because... I can't remember the name of Orlando Bloom's character now, but...
No, Will Turner.
Will Turner, that's it, thank you.
Yep.
Like, he becomes Dave Jones, essentially, and has that same...
curse.
Like, he has that same curse put on him, yeah. But he never goes and finds a bucket or something.
Oh, as well, keep in mind he's a blacksmith and, like, an engineer. Just build yourself, like, 2 buckets that you wear as shoes.
Yeah.
Or, here's an idea, Keira Knightley, just go on a boat.
Instead, it's like, I'm going to do absolutely nothing to try and see Elizabeth Swann anymore. I'm just, we're done. I'll see you in, like, 10 years or whatever.
Let's go. Yeah, because he comes back and he's like, he's got a kid and stuff, hasn't he? And it's like, it suggested that he never saw that kid. It's like, can he not just, like, come to shore and just stand quite close by? There are piers, right?
He just makes zero effort. Deadbeat dad right there. Going back to Hercules here, it says, the project underwent multiple story treatments, and our first script draft was inspired by the screwball comedy films of the classic Hollywood era and popular culture of the 1990s. And that's one thing that I really like about Hercules, is the willingness to play around with, like, pop culture references of the modern time.
And how silly it is as well. And just like, yeah, like the relationship between Hercules and Danny DeVito's character.
I get very frustrated the fact that Hercules literally has merch in the movie that they don't actively sell as merch.
Yeah, I hate when they put something cool in a movie. It's like, I want that. So we talk about the Wreck-It Ralph sequel, right, where all the Disney princesses have, like, their casual Friday looks and they don't sell any of those shirts.
Maybe it was sold during that time in the mid-90s at Disneyland, but the fact that you couldn't easily just keep some of that bits around, right?
Yeah, it's like, it would have been fun as, like, a curio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I would have totally bought one of those, like, little Hercules drinking cups or something like that if I saw one at Disneyland in a shop.
Yeah, do you know, like, the Disney bit of merch that I am most jealous of someone owning? A friend of mine has a Powerline, like, jacket. So do you like tour jackets that sometimes, like, crew get when they work on movies? They did, like, a mock-up one, as if you're a member of Powerline's crew, and Powerline, people who don't know, is who, Lucas?
Powerline's from, is the Goofy movie?
A Goofy movie, yeah. He's the singer in that.
I was going to say, I knew it was something Goofy related. I couldn't remember whether it was the movie specifically or not, but yeah, it's a very cool look, which, you know, obviously I'll put a clip in now of.
And a friend of mine has, like, a fake tour jacket with, like, Powerline on the back, as if they're a member of his, like, backstage crew. Oh, that's so fucking good!
Man, I need to watch Goofy movie again. I know that it was, like, an anniversary of it, and
it's so good.
They released, like, some kind of, like, documentary about the making of, and, like, you know, have a bunch of, like, people talking about the movie and stuff, and, yeah, like, speaking of underappreciated Disney films, no one really talks about Goofy movie either.
A Goofy movie is fucking awesome, and a perspective on it that I am fascinated by. Obviously, we're two white dudes. Yeah. This is not something that would ever occur to us, but there's been, like, a lot written about it. I think they talk about it in that documentary of, like, it is, like, the blackest Disney movie ever made.
I mean, Princess and the Frog, surely?
Okay, to that point.
Yeah.
It's a great movie, not to mention as well, like, speaking of musical numbers, I contend, like, a Goofy movie has some of the best musical numbers in a Disney movie.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. The muses in this are great, and they're a great narrative element as well, just the fact that they're able to use the muses and the music of them. They literally, like, push along the plot when it needs to progress a bit, because, yeah, this is like a 90-minute film, and I think that's such an excellent way to be able to do it. Like, for example, as we mentioned with the Zero to Hero song and the montage. It mentions here as well that, you know, obviously this is mostly like hand-drawn animation, but it does say that computer animation was used in several scenes, predominantly in the Hydra battle sequence, which is part of the reason that the production budget was quite high. And that Hydra battle sequence, it does get to a point where, like, oh, this is very early computer animation, but it's still, like, a very cool effect that would have been horrendous to try and actually draw out. But after the release of Hercules, also got Hercules and the Animated Series, which is a TV series focusing on his time at Prometheus Academy. And then there was also a direct-to-video prequel, Hercules Zero to Hero, which consists of 4 episodes from the TV series.
Hell yeah.
What's the point? Like, I guess just to make some sales off it as, like, a movie, right? And just sell some extra VHSs out there, but...
Apparently, like, I know, like, a lot is written about how bad a lot of those direct-to-video Disney sequels were. I mentioned my ex earlier. Like, the amazing dunk, like, she came up with on Barnacle. She contended, while we were together, that Mulan 2 had better songs than Mulan 1. I want to get your opinion on this. Oh, really? Yeah.
I do not remember... No, I don't remember Mulan 2. So, like, maybe during the editing of this... I'll watch a couple of those songs and just put, like, a little note on the screen of what I think. But
yeah, give us your opinion. Like, audience at home, is there any of those, like, direct-to-Disney sequels that are, like, worth watching, in your opinion? Because I've heard, like, a Goofy movie too. Like, a Goofier movie, I think it's called, is apparently quite good.
Yeah, and Lion King... I think it's Lion King 2 that people like, not Lion King 1.5 or whatever it was. There's also, like, the third Aladdin film. Like, people say the second one, which didn't have Robin Williams in, isn't great. But then the third one's pretty good. I can never remember which one's Return to Jafar, but the third one of Aladdin is apparently good.
Jafar. Wherever you are.
Ah, yeah. I've just checked on the Aladdin page. It's Aladdin and the King of Thieves. So it's Return to Jafar, then King of Thieves. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. But no, that's the thing is, I don't mind the direct-to-video sequels or prequels, but the fact that it's just... we're going to do the laziest thing possible and just take 4 episodes of the animated series that we've already done and just slap them in a box.
What I prefer is I want the Dragon Ball Super method of take the movie and stretch it out to 30 episodes.
Oh. God damn. Like, if you think Resurrection F is bad as a film, just go and watch that, like, yeah, as you say, like, 30 episodes of just the thinnest amount of plot. the most amount of screaming, though. You know, we've mentioned Danny DeVito. I also want to give a shout out to the performance of Meg. We often talk about those performances and those, like, you know, awakenings that you have during films. I think Meg is one for a lot of people, including myself.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, I'm looking at the design now. I can see it.
I'd say hear me out, but it's not even a hear me out. It's just, like, obviously animated very well, but, like, just the performance as well, like, the vocal performance is just... Oh yeah, this is doing something for.
So, did they give you a name along with all those rippling pectorals? Are you always this articulate?
It's 10 on 10. I am as well looking at the same wiki as you, and I love the detail that, yeah, they made her hair like a Greek vase. And it's like, oh, that's so good.
It's a very good cast. There's obviously, like, one dickhead we don't want to talk about.
Guess who in the comments?
I just fucking hate people. Like, just let me just enjoy a film that I like from my childhood without there having to be just shitheads in there. It does say that there's a cancelled sequel here that was going to be Hercules 2, The Trojan War, and that would have been about Hercules now living in Athens with Megaera and their daughter Hebe. I don't know. HGB, tell me how it's said.
Joy, it's pronounced cancelled.
They literally killed that kid in the crib. But that does kind of prove the point of, you know, Meg being a just absolute 10 on 10, because if you're telling me that there's a woman out there that I would sacrifice godhood for, they've got to be something special.
Well, we mentioned Kratos earlier, right? Of how much of a fucking badass was Faye.
Yeah.
For Kratos to call her, and I quote, the finest warrior I ever saw.
Not even Zeus was able to stop Kratos, but Faye was like, hang on.
As well, if you go through Ragnarok, there's a side quest where someone's talking about, yeah, there's like a frozen lightning bolt stuck here from when someone fought Thor to a standstill. And you find out it was Faye.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked Kratos, like, did you know your wife was strong enough to, like, just fight Thor to a standstill? That guy who kicked your ass in the first 10 minutes is like, no.
But at the same time, obviously, as you say, he knows that she's a great warrior, and even the dwarves are like, oh yeah, we made this weapon for your wife. Like, she was just an absolute badass. And at the time of recording, Hades 2 has, like, only just reached, like, 1.0 and got an official release. And have you been playing any of it?
I played it in early access. I've not got around to playing the 1.0 release yet because I'm waiting for a weekend off.
Right, fair.
I'm waiting for a weekend off so I can, like, 'cause it's on my PC, so I've set my PC into my main room, hook it up in there and play it in there. So I'm waiting for I've got, like, a couple of days off in a row to really sink my teeth into it to get to the end game.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm waiting for the physical release because I figured it's a good excuse of, like, well, I'm currently playing Silk Song, and I haven't got long to finish it because I cancelled my Game Pass subscription as well.
Oh, why'd you do that?
Oh, I wonder why.
Just any particular reason?
Maybe because they're, like, hatching up the price of it by, like, 50%.
I saw earlier, like, on, like, the group chat, our friend just posted, like, oh, in addition to that, they've also stopped you from getting the 10% discount you got on buying stuff. It's like, oh, well, of course. Fuck me.
How to absolutely fumble the bag. But, yeah, you know, Pokemon's coming out soon as well, so I was just like, oh, I'm just going to tell myself that I really want the physical edition of Hades 2 so that I can wait on that. But Greek mythology's gotten off quite well when it comes to adaptations and stuff.
It's a really rich well to plumb from. Like, there is so much in there. Like, Hades, the game, takes a very different approach to its representation of, like, ancient Greek myth, by which I mean just make everyone so fucking sexy.
Just the
uncomfortably sexy. To a point, do you know you meet someone and they're so handsome it's distracting? Like, a girl's so attractive it's just it makes you uncomfortable.
Every single character in Hades 1 and 2, I would just melt in front of if they were real. And, like,
every single one, but every single design is like 10 on 10.
The fact that, as well, that it's such a deep well to pull from, as you say, that there's so many extra, like, gods and people that they were able to pull from that weren't in Hades 1.
Yeah, and they're giving them all, like, again, absolute 10 on 10 money, like, designs. The only one I don't like is Narcissus. And that's because in early access, some of the character models hadn't been finalised yet, so they just had, like, this placeholder one of a guy in a hood. Or a guy or a gal in a hood, I should say.
Yes,
and you eventually encounter Narcissus in the game, and I played early access at a point where virtually every character model was in, except for Narcissus, and I thought him having a hood that covered his face was so perfect. People don't know Narcissus is the mortal who was so beautiful that he was cursed by the gods to never stop looking at his own reflection, and it's where we get the word narcissism from. And I thought that is so genius to have, because how are you ever supposed to draw a character that who's so beautiful the gods were jealous? Cover his face. And they put him into a game, and he's an attractive looking dude, but I prefer him to have the face covered so you can imagine, he's so handsome you're not even allowed to look at him.
I can understand that logic of just, how could you ever draw someone that is that beautiful, that it's like mythologically beautiful? It's
like we talked about God of War earlier, right? Where in the first, like, God of War 2018, they mention Faye, they never show her. And I'm thinking, it makes sense. How are they ever going to find any woman, like, who's beautiful enough to have, like, got Kratos to settle down? It's a smart decision. And then they nailed it, so they got Deborah Ann Wong. And that's a beautiful woman.
Yeah. But yeah, I get your point about Narcissus. Like, that design is an excellent design, but it is kind of more intriguing to be like, how beautiful is this person? You'll never see their face.
And yeah, it was completely unintended on the developer's part, because they just had this one placeholder piece of artwork. And I didn't realise that, because when I was playing it, they had like half-drawn artwork for some characters, but you could still see the basis of the idea. But the placeholder artwork was like, it looked complete. And I thought, that's so clever. Like, of course, I'm going to show you what Narcissus' face looks like. He's too beautiful. If you looked at it, you'd never be able to leave his screen.
Yeah, he also talks here about the stage adaptation, which I do want to mention because recently my sister spoke to me and was like, "Yeah, we went to go see Hercules the musical. It was all right." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And they were telling me like, "Oh yeah, they got rid of things like pain and panic." And I was like, "Okay, so it's not based on the Disney one then? Is it just based on like Hercules as, you know, a story?" It's like, no, it's Disney's Hercules. I was like, and they've gotten rid of the Disney characters out of it? Like, it's a very odd decision.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? The Shrek musical would never.
The Shrek musical would never.
I've never watched it and I never want to, because it exists in my head. The Shrek musical exists entirely as out of context screenshots of like the guy in the donkey outfit doing like the full fucking splits on stage.
Oh, but apparently that is a very good musical. Yeah, the Shrek one. It always surprised me because like for a long time I just would keep forgetting that there's a Shrek musical, and then I was like, how long has this been going on? And it's like, it's been going for a solid like 20 years or something now. It's very successful.
In that vein, Lucas, I'd like to know, is there a film that you would like to see a musical adaptation of? I think we talked about it once on Fact Fiend. Remember we talked about there was that school where they put on like a stage production, not a musical, but a stage production of Alien.
Oh, yes.
And it was so good that Ridley Scott gave them like money to put on like a encore performance that like Sigourney Weaver turned up to.
Like in my head I was like thinking about like Disney movies and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, if you take like a famous like horror or thriller film or something like an Alien,
I don't think it necessarily needs to be a horror or a thriller.
But it would just be a fun thing to do, right?
I'm more thinking a movie that's just in like a singular location. You can't have the location change too much, can you? Because if it changes too much, it's very difficult to render that in a musical, unless you've got like a shit ton of backgrounds.
Yeah, but Karl, what about The Thing?
Oh, to be fair, a Thing musical. Also, a Thing stage performance would go hard.
Yeah, but like a musical would be very interesting.
A Thing musical would also go hard.
Yeah. Because in my head I was like, oh, Lilo and Stitch, that'd be really fun, because like, it might be difficult to do like a Gantu, but yeah, just the idea
No, Gantu would be a big puppet.
Gantu could be a giant puppet, yeah. Like, it would be difficult to do, but I'm sure they could figure it out. And, like, I'm sure Stitch, you could have someone in a Stitch outfit, right? Like, you could get away with it, but...
No, you put a dog in the costume and go fucking ape shit.
But, like, it'd be really cool, because Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride is such a good, chill song. And then Lilo and Stitch, a lot of it is just like Elvis music and stuff like that. So it'd be really interesting to hear more like original music that they make for the musical.
I imagine the vibes as well. Like, do you like you're into like Hawaiian roller coaster? That's like a super chill vibe.
Yeah.
I imagine if they managed to capture that on a stage performance. I'm thinking like you could have like the waves in the background all drawn, like moving around, and I can see it. Yeah, there's a vision there.
You know, we go from a good idea, Karl, to a terrible idea. And obviously, I think you know where this is going. Of just a live-action remake.
I'm surprised it's not been made already. I think it'd be the easiest one, because how many fucking Hercules movies have there been? The Rock was in one.
I forgot about that. It mentions here that apparently Joe and Anthony Russo were meant to serve as producers, and they said it would not be a literal translation, as they want the film to have new elements, yet still being something that's in the vein of the original and inspired by it. And then
But better. That's better, right? I'm so sick of those live-action remakes. I watched the Lilo and Stitch one, and I was watching it, and halfway through, I just turned it off and went, why am I not watching Lilo and Stitch? It's the same movie, but worse. It almost felt like it was fan-made.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, years ago, you get, like, people doing, like, live-action Mario or something like that, and they'd have people dressed up in the costume trying to put something on? It felt like that.
Yeah.
Like an SNL skit or something like that.
I was about to say, like, the Mario Kart SNL sketch or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
It also got rid of cross-dressing completely and just gave them hologram disguises, and I was like, that's one of the most fun parts of Lilo and Stitch, is like these obviously badly disguised aliens trying to mumble around.
All is well. Please go about your business. I'm okay.
Your head looks swollen.
Actually, she's just ugly.
I refuse to watch it because I've already watched a few of the other live-action remakes, and Lilo and Stitch is like my favourite Disney movie up there with like Wreck-It Ralph. I don't want to watch a butchered version of the thing I love. You know, it mentions here that Guy Ritchie, who directed Aladdin remake, which I wasn't aware of.
You know what? I want Guy Ritchie's Hercules. Give me Guy Ritchie's Hercules.
I didn't know Guy Ritchie did Aladdin, but like a Guy Ritchie Hercules movie, what the hell?
He made that King Arthur movie and that was terrible. You know, at the very least, if he's going to make it, at least it's going to be interesting, because it's not going to be a one-to-one remake.
By all accounts, the Aladdin remake, the only good parts were from Aladdin, and all of the new stuff they added was just like bad and unnecessary.
Who'd have thought Will Smith is less charismatic than Robin Williams?
I know, right? Like, I can't get around the fact that people... No, Will Smith did a good job. He's not Robin Williams. No.
Do you think he thinks he is?
Maybe.
Do you think Will Smith thinks he's that good? Because did you see his music video? Where he made like a music video called like I Like Girls, and just like everyone's feedback to it is like, I've never seen a cry for help made into a music video before. It's like, Will Smith, you're 50, this is embarrassing.
Part of me wants to see a properly done Guy Ritchie Hercules movie, but I do not want that film.
I want a Guy Ritchie Hercules movie so fucking bad, and I want him to put all of the British actors that he puts in like his gangster movies in. I want Robert Carlyle as Danny DeVito's character. Put Vinnie Jones in it.
Fucking Vinnie Jones as Hercules, let's go.
No, Vinnie Jones would be a great Zeus. No, he'd be a big part, right? It was like the Cyclops. Vinnie Jones is the Cyclops. And the Cyclops just stumbles in with a can of Stella. It's like, I'll do your fucking nutting.
Okay, so who are we putting as Hercules then? Because I think he likes Charlie Hunnam, right?
Jason Statham. Statham is Hercules.
I was thinking Jason Statham, but like, is he maybe a bit old to pull off Hercules at this point? I wouldn't care anyway. Jason Statham as Hercules, like, just do it.
Jason Statham, but he plays the same character he played in Lock, Stock, where he plays Turkish, and he wears like a big camel hair coat, and instead of the camel hair coat, it's a lion skin coat. And it's just the same movie, but he's just got a lion.
I thought we were just going to make more Cockney.
Oh man, give me Cockney Hercules.
Cockney Hercules, let's go.
Oh, that'd be so fucking good.
But Karl, it says that Joe Russo told Games Radar Plus the remake would pay homage to the original with a more modern spin on it, and revealed that it would also be a modern musical inspired by TikTok.
Yeah! Do you know what? Don't give me that movie. I bet you've turned around on the Guy Ritchie Cockney Hercules remake now.
No.
You'd be begging for that.
A TikTok-inspired Cockney Guy Ritchie Hercules movie.
Fuck it.
Like,
Let's go.
Do it. Let's ruin Hercules in the most horrendous way possible.
Man, that'd be so fucking terrible. I'd love it. It's like that King Arthur movie. That King Arthur movie was absolute dog shit, but you know that Charlie Hunnam was having fun.
Yeah.
Because Charlie Hunnam was like, I get to like swing around a sword and pretend to be King Arthur. It's like, you know what? I'm glad they pay $50 million for Charlie Hunnam to just get to play out his fantasy of being a knight.
And they're being cowards though, Karl, because it says that Disney is apparently wanting to lean towards a more faithful adaptation following the backlash of the TikTok-inspired tone. God damn it.
Double down. It worked great for like Ralph Breaks the Internet. Look how much fun that was.
Oh my word.
Like, remember in Ralph Breaks the Internet where they put in the like, I don't diddle kids woman?
Yeah.
Like, she had a cameo. That's there forever, that. That's on Disney+. Like, they got rid of the Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons, but that's in there forever.
I can kind of imagine them just cutting out, because it's literally like, what, a 5-second clip?
No, it's in there.
It's in there. And, we obviously always give credit to the Casual Friday princesses, but I hate Ralph Breaks the Internet. God damn it.
It's load-bearing child diddling. You can't get rid of it.
Jesus Christ. Is that the title of this video?
Load-bearing child diddling. Well, Danny DeVito's in the movie.
He is. And he doesn't diddle kids.
He doesn't. He's got a whole song about it. Like, that's the... You're making a lot of assumptions when you should have been listening to the lyrics of my song.
We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids.
Thank you all for watching. This has been a journey that we've been on. And remember to, press the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and hope you all have a lovely day.
Load-bearing child diddling. That's a title.
Can't do that.
Load-bearing diddling. Let's go.
Oh.
What a story, Karl or Lucas. That sure was a great video.
I wasn't sure what you were doing for a second.
So welcome to our shout-outs to our big PPs over on Patreon. And PP stands for Patreon Producer. We call them PPs because it's funny to say.
Karl, they're the big PP.
They are the big PPs, yes. And if you would like to become a big PP, you can follow the links found below to become a member of our Patreon and hear your name be shouted out like we're about to do now. And the first name to shout out, Lucas, is someone who's taken a gauntlet I threw down on the ground many, many months ago and decided to put a piece of poo in it and then slap me across the face with it by creating ever more elaborate and difficult tongue twisters. So the first person I need to shout out is through rough, cough, sloughing snuffles, brought tough, thought fraught throngs through slough, like Altin suppose the stress. And it appears that their name got cut off by the character limit over on Patreon, so do be aware of that. But I think I nailed that tongue twister. I also like as well like referencing slough in a tongue twister. It's slough.
Or imagine being able to be magically whisked away to Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware.
And I'm going through some rough coughs at the moment, so it's quite fitting. So if I sound a little bit off, I'm just ill still, and I still want to be here to just shout out everyone and give thanks for support. So,
yes, literally fighting through illness. And before we did this, Lucas just looked at me like, Karl, I don't think I'm going to make it.
But the next person we have to thank for their lovely support is Daddy Grunt. And Karl, obviously, we could acknowledge Daddy part of Daddy Grunt, but I'm just going to say, in terms of grunting, in terms of, acting, what's your favourite kind of, effort in a video game or whatever?
There's a couple for me. I do like the efforts for Isaac Clarke in the Dead Space game, because all of his, grunts of just to the point where he literally starts shouting, fuck you, if you swing around his gun enough.
I was going to make a joke of, I like the noises that the grunts make in Halo when they're just shouting, screaming.
What's your favourite grunt scream and why is it not again when they get hit by a plasma grenade? And the next person to shout out is somebody who has taken that poo-poo covered gauntlet I mentioned earlier, picked it back up off the floor and slapped me across the other cheek by coming up with a name that is a series of words in a language I do not speak. So let's give that a go, shall we? So, next person to shout out is Tinakui, Hochata, Oxilane, Tomi, Sema, Sikapatia, Ta, Nitla, Maktia, Ipan, Kalta, Maktilioyan. And if I've mispronounced that, I'm very, very sorry. If you can't tell, I'm very bad at pronouncing words I'm not familiar with. So I deeply apologise for my bad pronunciation, but I do get the feeling that the person who picked that as their name on Patreon kind of wanted to see me fail a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just the thing is, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much where we're going to get cancelled for like, have you heard how bad that pronunciation is? But enough where they can be like, look at this fucking dude just struggle.
Playa, Yakur.
Of the volcano, Aya Fiatla Yurga. Here.
Eja Fiatla
I mean, speaking of struggling, Karl, I don't even have words for the next shout out, so...
That's what I mean. Like, people have these gauntlets. I feel like there's multiple gauntlets now with multiple kinds of poo in them that people are like throwing at us left and right. So the next person has not even submitted a name. They've submitted a story told via emojis. So Lucas, what is this story?
I don't necessarily know what the story is. I can't quite grasp it, but it does appear to be a series of faces made out of punctuation. So I'm going to do my best to describe what I see.
So Lucas, I now get to say one of my favourite lines from one of my favourite bad game shows. Say what you see.
£290. What do you think it is?
Tip the waiter.
I see burning dragon, uwu face, happy face, glasses face, maybe butt cheeks, little jazz hands face, and then an angry face throwing a table, a very scared looking face. Yeah, did I just absolutely fail at getting the prize in catchphrase?
No one will ever fail harder than just a snake charmer. We mention it all the time. I'm putting the clip in again.
Means concentrate. Here we go. Sean!
Snake charmer.
And the next person to shout out is Rosalindus Memphis. And we need to shout out Rosalindus Memphis, one, for their long-time support, because I recognise this name. It's been in like multiple of these big PP shout-outs. And also for just having a nice, short, easy-to-pronounce name that doesn't embarrass myself or Lucas.
True.
And I mentioned in the last like big PP shout-out, I do try to put in like a fun clip for each person's name when we shout them out. And the one I keep trying to put in for Rosalindus Memphis is a song with the word Memphis in it.
I find it funny, Karl, because I said months and months ago now that you're going to regret throwing this challenge down so hard, and now here we are. But somebody else that has kept it simple is Kicking Bucket, who also has decided to, I think it was last month, they added in also having a table flip emote in there. So we've got multiple little angry table flip emotes in there.
And Kicking Bucket is a euphemism for, just eating shit. So Lucas, what's the most you've eaten shit recently in a video game?
I mean, I've been playing Hollow Knight Silk Song, Karl. So
say no more.
All I can see in my head is just Horner, just shut.
Well, for me, it's Borderlands, because I bought Borderlands 4, and I shit you not, it won't boot up.
Oh my god.
It crashes on boot if you're connected to the internet.
It just dies, it kills itself.
It literally, as soon as you start the game, it crashes on boot. So I think the entire game refusing to play, that's the entire game just died. It's great. Amazing. Fuck you, fix that shit, Randy. Premium games, premium players, they won't even boot up without being connected to the internet. Fucking legendary. The next person to shout out is Lucille DeSteele. And Lucas, I've kind of been, taking the reins on this one, because Lucille DeSteele is another long-time supporter, and I keep putting in clips of real steel. So instead of me putting in a clip from one of my favourite, comfort movies, guilty pleasure movies, whatever you want to call it, what's a guilty pleasure / comfort movie for you I can put a clip in from?
Hopefully you can get away with putting a clip in, but my answer is going to be Lilo and Stitch, and not because it's necessarily a guilty pleasure film, but more I take a lot of guilty pleasure in the amount of just Stitch merchandise I constantly buy.
Yeah, and I'd say you get to pick which clip I'm going to put in, but it's of course where Lilo just absolutely goes to town on that little girl and starts delivering the hammer fists.
You're crazy.
Why do they not teach the little girl playing Lilo in the live action reboot MMA shit so she could just deliver the beatdown of all beatdowns?
So this is where you get her in the arm lock. Oh god. And the next person we have to thank, Karl, is Bee of Awesome, who has provided the answer to the riddle that they provided last month, which I'm a big fan of the idea of giving us a month worth of setup and then a month worth of payoff.
And Lucas, would you like to remind people of the riddle they posed to us last month? Because that's another fun thing people are doing with the big PP shout-outs of posing questions and riddles to us that we have to answer. It's like, answer me my riddles 3.
So be of awesome, the answer to last week's riddle, what lies on the ground 100 feet in the air, it is an upside-down centipede. And
should have seen that one come in.
Yeah, I read that and was like, how does that make any sense? Why would there be any...
We admitted to not cheating. We could have cheated for that riddle and made it look really smart, but we figured we could cheat for the riddle and look smart, but then people are going to see us try and pronounce these foreign words and just then know we're not that smart. But the next person to shout out is ghost emoji, little ghost emoji, and it is spooky month. Lucas, do you have a favourite ghost or character who is now a ghost? That's not going to be too much of a spoiler.
Well, I'm going to go with Pokemon, as I do love Pokemon, and I'm going to say Mimikyu, because
that's fair.
It's quite fitting for October. I'd say it's in like permanent outfit of like Pikachu cosplay, because if it's not
wearing a Halloween costume, right?
It's literally wearing a Halloween costume, but if the Halloween costume falls off, everybody dies.
I know it can't be, but could it be? Pikachu's hair!
And then next person we have to thank, Karl, is Split Scream, another person that has just, gracefully not punished us, so I have to thank them for that.
And their name is Split Scream, and we are in Spooky Month, as mentioned. So, Lucas, is there a favourite example you have of what I like to refer to as scream acting, which is where actors just scream real loud and it's very convincing, or, at the very least, entertaining?
Well, my favourite moment of scream acting is in the movie Scream, where they...
I knew it. I knew it. When Matthew Lillard just gnaws on the scenery. Yeah,
yeah, of course. Like, the faking death moment, just, the reveal. It's like, yeah.
That's right. You gave it up. Now you're no longer a virgin. That virgin. Now you gotta die. Those are the rules.
My favourite example of like proper scream acting is Shalto Copley in District 9, where he's just screaming in like with his really broad South African accent, like "Fuck you, you fucking prawns!" He's so good. He spends half that movie just fucking screaming, and then the other half annihilating people with pigs launched at Mach 3.
Not the Mach 3 pigs.
No one wants the Mach 3 pig. Except for Shalto Copley, because he's like, fucking prawns! And last but not least, we have to shout out Grandmaster Tami. And it's really fun as well, because like, when I booted up my computer this morning to start work, I saw we had like a Patreon subscribe, and it was Grandmaster Tami. I'm like, that's perfect. Me and Lucas are doing the shout outs later today. They picked us at the post and got it at the last possible second to get their name in the credits.
There's my name right there.
Grandmaster Tami.
Looks more like Brad Storch.
No, it says Betty. Betty Symington. That's for taking credit for other people's work.
We appreciate the support of our big PPs, our PPs, and just everyone who watches these videos, especially if you're watching it to the end and seeing us talk now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all next time.